Good morning. It's 9:06 a.m. Friday, June 30th, 2023. Welcome to the Good News live at 9 on Facebook and available later on our YouTube channel. Please be sure to comment in the chat. This is a presentation of the Allen Park Presbyterian Church. Good morning, everyone. I'm Suzan Maxey, and we have had technical difficulties this morning. Good morning, Kerri. I'm glad you could get on finally.
Yes, I'm on my phone. I never Zoom on my phone. I have no internet. So I woke up to that, which is not a fun thing to wake up to, but here we are. We're excited about the show. It's Friday, June 30th, and wow, end of June already.
Oh, no kidding. And of course, Zoom had to update, so I'm going nuts on my side. But anyway, so past the technical difficulties. Let's see, what's the fun stuff that we're going to have today? First off, we have the stuff that's in the parking lot across from the church, and that would be the farmers market this afternoon.
Yay.
From 3 to 7. And then something cool later tonight is a free event that we heard about. And that's going to be from 6 to 10 at the Market Center Park on Eureka and Road in Southgate. And it is a Mexican food fiesta.
Ooh, that sounds fun.
It does, doesn't it?
Yes.
So Market Center Park, if you're not familiar with it, which I'm not really because I'm not from Southgate, it's at 13631 Eureka Road. Not sure what the cross streets, but it says they're going to have margaritas and a DJ William, I guess, and Mexican food and tequila tasting. Woohoo! And vendors too, so that should be fun. And that's from 6 to 10 tonight.
All right, so it's all kind of on you since I can't see anything and I can't see any of my notes. I'm excited about our guests today because they're from the mission trip.
Oh, yeah.
Two young ladies that grew up in our church, so I'm really excited about that.
Let's see here. Some of our other announcements. Of course, Sunday at 10 o'clock is worship in the sanctuary. And as usual, it will be live streamed on Facebook and YouTube. And it is the first Sunday in July, so there will be communion.
And they're doing a different kind of communion. I think we're doing it the way we used to. So that's kind of exciting.
Being served or intinction?
I'm not sure.
So we'll be surprised. Cool.
Yes. I'm sure it's going up, but that's intention, right?
Yep. Okay, let's see here. Well, we are gathering donations for the animal shelters. Let me see here for a pause. We're collecting used towels, blankets, food, and if it's an open bag, it can be taped shut. Toys and for paws and for local animal shelters. You can find a collection box near the church office and see the Paws Taylor wish list for more items that they need. Our fifth Sunday, because July has the fifth Sunday, right? So
that is correct.
Our fifth Sunday mission, which will be on July 30th, is we are collecting cereal and other breakfast items for Blessed Hope Church in Lincoln Park. They have a food pantry that provides groceries, meals, showers, and free clothing to those in need. You can bring any kind of cereal as long as it is unopened and not expired to the donation box in the narthex or near the church office. And then our honeycomb food pantry for the month of July, we ask that you support the Blessed Hope Church's pantry with the cereal donations. If you wish, we can still use pasta sauce and always welcome monetary donations.
Right.
Thank you for your support in keeping our shelves stocked. And speaking of providing food for people in need, did you know it's illegal for supermarkets in France to waste food? Using a practice that should be repeated all over the world, France actually does not allow grocery stores to throw away unused food. Instead, all food that they think they can no longer sell must be given to the poor and donated to charities. This massively cuts down on France's food waste, which in turn simultaneously cuts down on carbon emissions and helps give back to those in need in their country. More countries in Europe are looking at implementing this rule for their grocery stores. Hopefully this practice will cross the ocean in our direction.
That would be fantastic, wouldn't it?
Yep.
All
And
right.
I think something near and dear to your heart, since you're moderator of the deacons, this is a new mission. I know that it's really cute, and I hope everyone gets involved. And that's the worry worms. So you want to tell us about the worry worms?
Yes, it's a random act of crochet kindness movement that I saw on the internet. And we are looking for people to be involved in one way or the other. With crocheting, we already have some people crocheting. We're looking for people to teach us how to crochet. Donations of yarn. We have all the donation boxes up in the church for Sunday. So we'll take scraps of yarn because they don't take that much when they can be multicolored. And then we're going to need people to distribute them. And I'm hoping it's going to be a whole big thing. And it has to do with worry and anxiety and how life is hard sometimes. And you give them to people or you hide them, and people find them, and hopefully it makes their day better. So it's something we're kicking off, and hope you can help us kickstart it as well.
I've been showing, you probably can't tell, Kerri, but I've been showing little pictures. And one of the little sayings, I've just got to read this, is so cute. That's included with a little purple worry worm is, I am a little worry worm, and I'd like to be your friend. I am soft and kind and quiet. On me, you can depend. If you are feeling lonely or sad or afraid, give me a squeeze, hold me close, and I will help you to be brave.
Aw, so perfect.
So
Well,
that's
so
the worry worms.
we probably need to get our guests in here because we're running
Yep.
so late today. I have no
All
idea how many people are watching.
All right, so let me see if I can admit them.
Okay.
We'll see. Okay. All right, so while they're coming on, tell you a little bit, our mission trip team returned last Friday from Pikeville, Kentucky, and 3 of them will be joining us this morning to show how they saw God during their week in Kentucky. Pikeville is a small town in eastern Kentucky that was hit by severe flooding in 2021, causing damage to homes, businesses, and infrastructure. Many people in the area are still recovering from the disaster and need help with home repairs, cleanup, and restoration. And I do believe we have 3 of our ladies this morning. So we have Tracy and Christina and Deanna. Good morning, ladies.
Yay.
Good morning.
Welcome.
Good morning.
So have
Thank
you
you,
recovered
everyone.
from the trip?
Every,
Don't all answer at once.
did you say, did we recover?
Have you recovered? Yeah.
Yes.
Sleep all week?
We were exhausted. That is for sure.
Yeah, a little background. Tracy and her husband, Chris Niemi, have been doing mission trips for years and years, and youth group. Their daughter, Christina, who's with us, has done Camp Wakanda and youth group and everything with her parents since she was a little girl. And Deanna, the same way. Youth group, joined everything at Camp Wakanda for years and years. So it's really wonderful when Christina just graduated from high school and she went right on a mission trip. I think that is so cool. So we can't wait to hear a little bit more behind the scenes. Like, what did you see? What did you experience there? What were your initial reactions?
Like, how many total volunteers were there, and where were they all from?
So we stayed at a church. It was the First Presbyterian Church in Pikeville. And we had a group of 50 of us total. There was 2 other groups. One group from Pennsylvania, and the other group was from Illinois, I believe. So there was a lot of us there.
Wow. But there was what, 9 or 8, I guess, 8, because Maureen.
8 of us from Allen Park. Yep.
Did you work together with the groups, or was it segregated where you just stayed with the church, or did you work with others?
It was a little of both. I know our first day we went to another church and it was just like my group. And then I think later on in that afternoon, another group joined us because they finished their project. So it was kind of like a little bit different every day.
That's kind of nice.
Yeah.
What kind of work was available to do?
So we sorted clothes at the church that she was just talking about, and he would like give clothes away to people who needed them. Then we tore down a bridge at another house and a porch. Then we did some drywall and insulation as well. And I think that was basically that summed up our whole week.
Yeah, and I know another group did like concrete work, some painting, power washing. There was a lot of different things.
Yeah, I don't think, because I mean, as most people know, I've been on mission trips with you guys and for a long time. And when a natural disaster happens, you hear about it in the news, but sometimes a year or two will go by and a lot of things haven't changed. People are still without proper housing, without food. They've lost their jobs and nobody talks about it anymore.
Right.
So right. And I did you notice that? Because I know when we went to the Gulf, I mean, it was shocking. Remember when we drove around, it just looked like it had just happened. Was it like that in Pikeville?
Definitely.
Yeah. Just driving down some of the streets. The guys, I love it.
This is one of the pictures.
Yeah, I stole all of Tracy's pictures, so photo credit to Tracy.
So this is, you want to tell us about this family in this house particularly?
So there was a husband, a wife, and then 2 kids. And the wife had just recently had a stroke, and this house, they had the bridge there as well that needed to get torn down, and the porch was unsafe because I don't know if you can see it in the picture, but as you would step on it, the boards were warping. So we had to get it teared down. And yeah. And the 2 kids, they were so cute. We got to play with them and they were very friendly, and they were kind of sad when we left.
Aw. I don't know, it's gotta feel so amazing to have people come and help you. You know, after you've been, here, I sent her a lot of pictures.
Oh yeah, there's the bridge.
No, I'm all about pictures. So this is the bridge that you tore down, right?
Yes.
Yeah, and so this bridge was actually like further down, but from all of the water, it got pushed and then ended up stopping right at those trees. So we left the like the poles there and just took the top boards off because they were really bad.
Wow.
So I think another group is going to go back to that same house and then rebuild that bridge.
Now the bridges are because there's little streams there? Is that what the bridges are for? Yeah.
Yep.
So I know Deanna had said that the mom was in a wheelchair, again, because of the stroke. So this little bridge was so they could get to their like backyard, basically, where it looks like there's a fire pit and a bench or something back there.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Now, Deanna, I know this was, while Sue gets another picture up, Deanna, I know this was your first mission trip. You did spend most of a year being a young adult volunteer for the Presbytery, and you were in North Carolina. How was your first mission trip? I told you when you came back, you'd be different. Was I right?
Yes, you did. You did. I think it was different because this is the first mission trip I've been on where I wasn't a youth per se. I kind of got upgraded to adult leader, and I've never been an adult leader before on a mission trip. So that was a new experience for me. But also provide a lot of closure because my year in Asheville did end kind of abruptly. And something that I talked to Maureen Klein about was that I really wanted closure from that experience and doing another mission trip where there was an end. We went, we did our things, we came home, but there was a definite end. And not having to be evacuated again was really nice as well.
Yeah.
Deanna
had to come home because of the pandemic. She had to drive without much notice all the way home from North Carolina when she was evacuated because of the pandemic. So that's what happened.
And I didn't have to do any driving this trip. We had Chris and Tracy's husband. Tracy did a lot of driving too, and Jeff do the driving. I just had a co-pilot and hand
Yes.
phones and call people and look up addresses. So I like
told
the
you
co-pilot position.
You were definitely in good hands with Jeff and Chris. And it's good to hear that they have driven us all over the country. So they definitely know what they were doing.
Yes.
Sue, do you have another picture we can bring up and talk about?
Yeah.
All right.
Oh.
So this was
All right.
our first day,
Mm-hmm.
and that's Loretta and Carl. And this was where we sorted the clothes. So on the property is their house, their church, and then this building where they have, it's almost like a thrift store.
Mm-hmm.
So after church services on Sundays and Wednesdays, they allow whoever to go in and grab whatever they need. No charge, nothing. Like they can just go in, grab as much or as little as they need. And so we helped sort all those clothes. On the other side of this was like everything, like snacks, cleaning supplies, like a little bit of everything. It was crazy how much stuff they had in there.
That's
A
like
lot
my
of
dream.
toothpaste.
That's like my dream come true is to have something like that.
Yeah, it was amazing.
And I think Deanna told me that the reason you guys were working at the resale shop or the free shop here is because the weather was bad that day or it was raining. You couldn't do your outdoor project that day.
Yeah.
So it's kind of a blessing you got to see that, I
Yeah.
think.
The experienced mission people were told that it was going to rain like all week. So all these outdoor projects that they had planned for us at the last minute, they're like trying to find indoor projects for, 50 people. So that's a lot to do. But I think what was interesting about this mission trip is as you can see in that picture on the first day, that was Monday. There was only Kate, Tracy, and I. And we did all of that by ourselves, just the three of us. So even within our own mission group, like 3 of us went here to this project, 4 other people went to this project. So even within our group of Allen Park, we were split apart into projects as well.
Right.
And then like other days.
Right. An interesting note. Like I said before, Tracy, Chris, and Jeff O'Reilly have been doing mission trips. I know Jeff's been doing them for 20 years. I don't know how long that Chris and Tracy have been, but Jeff had his youngest daughter with him. And that was really wonderful. He has taken, yes, he has been gone on mission trips on Father's Day for as long as you can remember. And it was probably really nice for him to actually have his youngest daughter and third daughter with him. So how cool is that? So tell us what you did. I know there's always a fun day. I posted a picture about you guys going to a restaurant. What did you guys do on your fun day?
So honestly, like in the area we were in, it was kind of a struggle to find, something fun to do. But we found this restaurant. It was called Pig and a Poke, and food was amazing. After this, we were trying to find something. I know there was like a suspension bridge that we like walked up and down to just check out. And then after that, we just did some shopping.
Yeah.
Really wasn't a whole lot to do, but we made the best.
Oh, there's the bridge. Can you describe the area as being like not very populated, like very rural? Like, how do you describe the area?
I would say rural, but like there was like just like pockets of like shopping centers. So like you drive, a few miles up the road, there'd be another pocket, a few more miles, another pocket. It was kind of a weird setup, but it was mostly just shopping and grocery stores and stuff like that.
But when you were driving around, could you see like things that seemed damaged from the floods? Like the floods were really bad there, I'm assuming.
Yeah, especially in certain areas, like you would be driving and there was people's like trailers or houses that were still abandoned. You could see that it was just full of debris and probably their furniture, So even a year later, these houses are still torn apart, and some people are living in them, you know, like it's just sad and crazy.
It is really sad and crazy. I think we had a first time mission traveler besides Lucy, and that would be Kobe. Kobe is Christina's boyfriend. He's such a nice guy. How did he enjoy the mission trip?
He really liked it, especially because the other groups, they had kids our age and they also enjoyed playing basketball. So that's what he did with a lot of his time when we stayed at the church. And he also is an apprentice for carpentry. So he knows some like basic things about like with houses. So he was able to help my
That's
dad and
fantastic.
Jeff. Yeah.
That is fantastic. That is very fantastic.
There's a
Describe
picture here that I believe that this is Kobe in the far back, right?
yes.
Really tall guy. Who are these other people and where was this taken at? Looks like it was probably a church of some sort with the crosses, but
So this is the parking lot that's next to the church. And these are the 3 crosses, and there's picnic benches. And this is where we had our leaders meeting. We always had a leaders meeting with our experience mission. But they call them interns. That's their title. They're interns. So I'm standing here on the end. Next to me is Andrew. And every evening after dinner, Andrew always led us in CE, which is Christian education. And this week we were studying James. So every single day he led some sort of Bible. We always did songs, a Bible reading. We'd split off into groups, come back as groups, and then talk about it as a whole group. And then next to Andrew in the blue, this is Mackenzie, and she is the carpenter outdoor project coordinator. She's the one that goes on house visits and looks at things and asks people questions about what do you need? What can our groups do to help you, in your home and even some of the churches. And Andrew does some church visits as well. And then next to Mackenzie in the red, this is Abby. And her name is Abby with an I on the end. That's why I can remember her so well, because it's a little bit different. And Abby was just, she was the one who was in touch with Maureen Klein the most. And then Tracy about, she was also like our head cook. She did a lot of the cooking and prepping for things, for all of our meals. But she's the one who like checked in with us every day, be like, how can we as a mission team, experienced interns help you? Do you guys need anything? And they would all, something that I thought was really cool at the interns was that they did not just stay at the church. They came to us at our different work placement sites. So all day they're traveling in their own personal vehicles, going from one work site to another work site, checking in on us, checking in with the homeowners, doing lots of Lowe's and Home Depot runs for the people who were doing the bigger construction projects. And when I say visiting work sites, like, yes, there were some that were kind of local in Pikeville and in downtown Pikeville, but there were several days where I know one day in particular, our group, which I think was my favorite day, we traveled about an hour away from Pikeville to Wicksburg, where we did the porch and the bridge deconstruction that you saw in the earlier photo. So we weren't just localized to just Pikeville. There were other groups that traveled an hour away to other cities to work on projects that experienced missionary interns had been put in touch with from homeowners, because they're like an application process, and they went and did those home visits. So I think what was interesting about this mission trip was that we just weren't in Pikeville. We were all over Eastern Kentucky, up to an hour and a half drive in the morning. And then we'd have lunch out there. We always had to pack a bag lunch before we left the church, like really simple lunches, like a sandwich, piece of fruit, chips, and a granola bar. And then, you'd start packing up around 3:30 and then drive an hour back into Pikeville. Those are who those 3 people were. They were our interns. They were our hosts for the week.
Yeah, these groups like Experience Mission are wonderful, wonderful groups. I mean, of course, the Presbyterian Church has the disaster assistance relief, same kind of thing, but all of these groups are working all over the world. And it's through the congregation supporting groups like this that go and take time out of their lives to go and help other people. It's an amazing experience. And I remember telling Deanna before she left, you will come back and you will feel different because you're not laying on the couch watching your internet on the TV. You know what I mean? Like you're sleeping in a church or a school, you're getting up, you're working all day long, you're meeting people, you're seeing things you may never have seen before, right?
Right.
I have a question for all of you individually. If you tell us, do you feel you made a difference? And if so, how? Or if not, why not?
I do. I know, like working with Carl and Loretta, that was my biggest, like, I guess my favorite, because by the time we left and just them seeing how much we accomplished in however many hours we were there that day, Loretta was in tears by the time we left, thanking us. And Carl, of course, like he wanted to take a picture, which of course we did too, but he wanted to document everything just like we did. He even like took down our address for the church. He wanted, you know, Pastor Tim's name and all of our names. And he like has a notebook to just keep track of all of the, you know, people who have came through and helped him out and what churches they're from. And he just was so grateful. And that was my biggest like eye opener. And you know, we may have just been sorting clothes, but we really helped them out.
That's beautiful.
Yeah.
Christina?
I know like with the short time we had, like we couldn't really do like super big projects, but like I know that the little amounts that we did help, because like what we did, it probably would have taken that one owner like several days just to do it by themselves. And I know like the house with the bridge, it was the dad and the two kids and the wife just had a stroke, like I said earlier. So like he was the one taking care of the kids the most. So I don't know how he would have been able to manage taking down this porch and bridge while also trying to take care of his kids at the same time.
And
Like I
his
know it would have
wife.
been a lot. Yeah, it would have been a lot. So I'm glad we were able to help them out that week.
Do you think that sometimes when you see a situation like this, it makes like some of our, like I don't have internet right now. I was kind of upset, but I mean, at the end of the day, it's going to come back and I still have my whole house is fine. You know, it kind of puts things into perspective, doesn't it?
It's an eye opener, that's for sure.
Yeah. Deanna?
We did a lot of things in our week. And I think one of the things that I had a hard time with, and I've come to accept it now, but it's taken a couple days, is that we couldn't finish every single project. Like the bridge and deck or porch, I'm gonna call it a porch. That was my favorite day we did. That was our Wednesday, and it was my favorite day and also our hardest day, because that was the one day all 8 of us as an Allen Park got to go to one work site together, because that hadn't happened all week. There had been like 5 and 3 and 4 or 2 where we were all over the place, but Wednesday was porch day. We all got to go to that one work site and work on both the bridge and the porch and covering. But I think what was hard for me was that we just had to kind of leave the foundation of those 2 telephone poles, and then the porch, we just kind of left the foundation. So I don't like leaving things unfinished, but we knew we had to, because there was no way we could take everything down and build everything back in the day in the day that we had there with that family. So I guess for me, it was like we were planting seeds so that way the group that was there this past week could finish what we had started. And so that was kind of hard for me, was that we had to leave projects kind of unfinished. but in a way they weren't unfinished. We were kind of just laying the foundation, like our Camp Wakanda song about foundation, which I love. So it brought me back to like our Camp Wakanda ministry about how you lay the foundation so that someone else can build on top of it, which is what we did in Pikeville. We laid seeds all over Pikeville and Eastern Kentucky so that way someone else could add to it in
Oh,
some way.
that's beautiful, Deanna. Speaking of Camp Wakanda songs, again, I saw a video from Tracy closing worship. Your group had to sing, and what song did you guys sing? It is definitely a church and camp favorite of everyone's.
Sanctuary.
Sanctuary. And Jeff and Chris were really nervous to go up there and sing because they're like, what song are we doing? What song are we doing? And I'm like, it's Sanctuary. They're like, oh, we're only doing Sanctuary. We're not doing any others, just Sanctuary. And yes, we're just doing, I don't know how many times I told Chris, it's just Sanctuary, not just Sanctuary. I'm like, yes, just Sanctuary. But that was such a beautiful moment to share that song because the other groups said, sharing their songs with us all week. So it was nice to share Sanctuary back with them, a song that we know well, because we really didn't know their songs because there was 3 different denominations too out of our group of 50. So our group did a lot of humming and swaying for a lot of the week, which was fine. There's nothing wrong with that, but it was nice to be able to share a song back and then have them join in with us because they got that song and them singing it back to us. And then they were harmonizing it with us. I don't know if you can hear that in the video, but there was a lot of really great singers in the other groups from that we were with down in Pikeville.
Good. Maybe they'll take our song and carry it with them. How wonderful. I was laughing when I saw Jeff and Chris singing because I can't picture them doing so, and I thought that was wonderful.
There's another Allen Park tradition that you guys taught to them too, that they all kind of thought that was pretty cool, right? The highlights and lowlights.
Mm-hmm.
Tell us about that.
So I think it was Tuesday night. So after CE, which we did as a big group of 50, us as Allen Park, we always met as our little group of 8 to kind of talk about the day, because once we were separated with our work sites, they left at 8:15. We sometimes didn't see each other again until 4:30 when we come back, because we'd come back from our work sites and then we all had to go shower at different places, and then we'd come back for dinner and then CE. So like there were sometimes where we didn't get to talk to see, okay, what did you guys get to do today, or who did you meet today? So we always met after CE, our little group of 8 from Allen Park, and Jeff O'Reilly invited, I think it was like our second or third night there, if anyone wants to come join us in our tradition, you're more than welcome to. So our little group of 8 grew to like 20 one night. And it was really nice getting to share with Mackenzie, because they're like, well, what's highlights and lowlights? Like they had never heard that term before. So like we all kind of went as like examples, and then they caught on what it was. And they thought it was really beautiful at the end, how we end. So for those who don't know what highlights and highlights are what was like the best thing of your day, or a great thing, or something that made you really happy. That's like your highlight. And then a low light is something, what was kind of, sad or unnerving, or something that, wasn't quite as a high. But then after you say your highlight or low light, or you can just have a highlight, we always end with I, and then you state your name. So like, I, Deanna, am a beloved child of God. And then everyone else responds back, amen. And then the person next to you, it's their turn to do their highlights and lowlights. So like the other groups, so not everyone from the group say, but there was quite a few, going from 8 to 20, we had to keep expanding our circle with our chairs. And some people stood and some people sat on the ground. But that was a really nice tradition to get to share with the 2 other groups, plus the experienced mission intern staffs themselves, because they thought that was like really cool about that's how we end our day as an Allen Park group.
Oh, that's
Great.
so we planted seeds from our church in other areas and spread some love, and I think that's what it's all about. So we are running over because we started late, and you probably all have things to do. So does everyone want to just say a thank you to the congregation for their support, or a closing comment about their experience, or anything along those lines?
We just appreciate all the support, and we were glad that we were able to go and, get done what we got done. So we appreciate you all.
Well, we appreciate, well, go ahead, Deanna.
I just want to say thank you for people who, came to all the fundraisers and donated, bought popcorn and hams and bacon. And I think one of the greatest, what?
Secret recipes.
Secret recipes. And I think one of the greatest things that our church does is that when we do have mission trips is sending letters. We all have a prayer partner. We all got a prayer partner, and getting those letters with our journal. Like, we cried one night reading our letters, and just to have that much support, and someone would take the time to write a letter specifically for you from the congregation. And we didn't know who our prayer partners were going to be until we got our journal. So that's always like a nice surprise on our mission trip. But just the love from everybody, and wishing us well for the drive and praying for us and just helping us get down there was really great. And now that the pandemic is kind of subsided, this is our first mission trip since 2019. I hope this can be a continuation of getting to do a mission trip almost every year, like how we used to. So thank you for starting up our tradition again.
Well, we want to thank all of you for taking time away from your jobs, your families, and other things that you have going on in your life. We appreciate you taking the time to go and do this in the world. So thank you, all of you, so much. And we just love giving you the support. And thank you for being here with us today. I think everyone is going to love hearing from you how this trip went. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
I believe the scripture that you guys were working with was Ecclesiastes 3:1. So, to everything there is a season and a time for every purpose under heaven. So thank you all for being with us today and sharing your experience. To our listeners, please be sure to join Pastor Tim for devotions live at 9 Monday through Thursday, also on Facebook. We hope you will join us next Friday for the Good News live at 9. And remember, you are a beloved child of God, and God loves you. So do we.
So do we. Thank you, everyone. Have a great day and a very, very safe 4th of July weekend.
Absolutely. Bye.
Bye, everyone. Thank you.
Bye, everyone.
Bye.